Joining us on the line to discuss that game and more is Dennis Schröder making his weekly appearance on the Raptor Show. What's going on, Dennis? Congrats on the win, man. That was a big one last night.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a big time win yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, I want to start with the last play. Darko calls timeout. You guys are down one, and he's got to drop something good to obviously get you guys up ahead. And the play was for Scotty to get the ball in the post, a little fake handoff to Pascal. The defense bites, and he gets downhill for the dunk. Take us into that timeout. What's Darko like in that huddle, and what are you guys thinking about and preparing about for that final play?
Yeah, I mean, it was a timeout. Coach did a great job of drawing up the play, and everybody, listening because it was intense. We went back and forth a little bit in the game, and I mean, Darko did a great job just putting people in the right places, and I mean, Scotty, finished it off with the and one. And I mean, that was just a team effort we did yesterday. Great moving the ball, just everybody just staying locked in, and yeah, we needed that one.
So obviously that, the high elbow DHOs are something you guys are doing more of. In this case, Indy kind of bites. Two guys go to the middle thinking Pascal's going to get the ball on the handoff, and that's what gives Scotty the lane to kind of go right. When Pascal is having a game like that, or any teammate is having a game like that, what is it like to play off of that? Like Pascal's drawing two in the post every time, or back when you were playing with LeBron, what his post ups would do to a defense. How does it change what you're doing, and just what is it like to play with someone who has it going to that degree?
I mean, it's always great. The attention is to that player, but I think it makes everybody else, have to make a decision or have to create for others or be aggressive because, I mean, when Pascal Siakam got it in the post and he got it going like that, people is going to bite, and coming from the top, it's going to be two guys on him, and then it's going to be one guy, open in the corner or, on the 45. So I think we did a great job of just keep moving it. And, he didn't force anything. He was just, aggressive in the system, did a great job of pushing the ball as well, and got transition layups. And I think it's going to be really tough to beat us if we play in that way.
Yeah. Well, I actually looked at the numbers because, as you mentioned, one of those exact sequences in the fourth quarter happened. Pascal was posting. The help came from the top. That was your man, and he kicked it out to you for the three. I think that was after the
Hmm.
Pacers went up 7. And then another play where Pascal drove. The help came off of OG in the corner. He kicked it to OG for the three as well. So I looked it up. You have 22 assists to Pascal in the season. That's the second most to any other player. Number one is Jakob, obviously. You and Yak in the pick and roll.
Hmm.
You got 23 assists to Jakob. And in terms of players who has assisted you, Pascal has assisted you 16 times. The next closest player who has assisted you the most is 8 from Scotty. So you and Pascal clearly have like a nice little two-man thing going on right now. Have you guys had conversations between the two of you in terms of like, hey, I like the ball here. When you go here, I'm going to be here. Like what are those conversations like? Because it's clearly working in terms of the assists back and forth between you two.
Yeah, I mean, it makes my job easy. If we kicking the ball ahead and people are just aggressive in the open court and transition, getting stops, and then I want to do the same thing to OG as well. I talked to him yesterday. Just when we get a stop, just pass it ahead, and it's going to be tough to guard those guys. OG, Scotty, um, and Pascal in the open court 1-on-1 is it's either a foul or a bucket. So I mean, me and Pascal, have been talking about it, try to get everybody on the same page, and then when he got it in the post, um, and I'm ready to shoot the ball, or drive it once he kicks it out, I just got to be ready and make the right decision. And I mean, I put so much work into my shot that I'm trusting it, and I just got to keep shooting them.
On the other side of that game last night, obviously it was a high scoring one. Tyrese Haliburton put up some real big numbers. I thought, you guys and OG especially did a pretty good job trying to slow him down, but he is on a pretty high level right now. What have you seen from Haliburton's growth, and, how tough was that for you guys defensively last night?
I mean, they still lost. We got the
Yeah.
job done, but he's one hell of a player, man. I mean, I played him in the summer as well. He didn't do that same, he's not that type of player when he plays with Indiana. Indiana, he's just on a different level, and he's just, running the show there, just having fun. You can tell like he's smiling, and he like have a good pass, or he's the engine for them and the head of the snake, and he's doing a great job. And he's up there in the conversations for MVP right now, because he's playing like it. And it's always happy to see young guys coming into this league and have such an impact like that. It's always great. And he's gonna be a great player in this league, and a superstar in this league for sure.
Yeah, Dennis, I guess I didn't appreciate the fact that, yeah, you guys did beat them. Obviously, as part of your run to the World Cup, I think that was the semifinals, right? And then you guys went on to beat Serbia in the final as
and
well.
then someone else beat USA in the bronze medal game too.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it was Canada.
I think I heard about that one. I think, Gordy Herbert might have also played a role in that team once upon a time. Actually, I was going to ask you, too, because I saw a lot of people point this out on Twitter. After the final shot went up, I think Buddy Hield shot it from like 40. He was open, but, it's still pretty far out. Shot misses. You guys got the rebound. Raptors win. And someone pointed out that you turned around and looked at Tyrese, gave him a little point. So we got to follow up. What happened there? Was there like talking back and forth? What happened?
Yeah, it was a little, competitive, like the game is. You get emotional, competitive, a lot of edgy, plays. And me and him going back and forth, since I think 2 years when he got to Indiana. We had a game there with the Lakers, and we was competing. People was talking smack, going back and forth.
Okay.
It's a two-way street, though. Don't get me wrong, but it's always the competitive spirit in me and in him. And he was talking when they was up as well, and I had to talk back when we got the win finally. So that's about it. Just being competitive, and everybody just enjoying being out there and be competing, for a win.
Yeah. Well, listen, I gotta ask you another follow up then, because not about Tyrese, just in general. What's your process for trash talk? Like, does someone have to talk to you first before you respond? Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm a compete, on the highest level. Try to, beat the point guard who I'm playing against. Try to, outplay him. But at the end of the day, I remember when I got to the league, and back in the day, it was. Now the league got a little bit, not softer, but like a little bit more sensitive about, talking. I think Giannis dunking on somebody, and he just, was flexing like he always do, and got a technical and got kicked out for that. So, yeah. Back in the day, it was never like that. But at the end of the day, if people are talking to me, I'm never going back down. And I love it when people talk to me, because I'm a, talk back, and then it's going to be competitive the rest of the game. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, you said your vet back in the day was Jeff Teague, right? Just listening to the podcast, I'm sure there was a lot of trash talk, even in practices and stuff.
But he was never like that, though.
Oh,
I gotta say,
okay.
like,
right.
he now that he's not a basketball player no more, he opens up. He's telling stories. But trash talking sometimes here and there when, somebody talks to him or talk to him. But he was not like a trash talker going out there and just talk smack like Pat Bath right now.
Got you.
He was not that type of player.
Yeah.
Do you, I know you and Jakob have said you sometimes communicate in German. Do you trash talk in German sometimes too? And another player looks at you and like knows you're trash talking, but doesn't know what you're saying?
We had a situation yesterday. TJ McConnell, I was talking to him. I was talking to Yak in German, but he tried to listen. Like, he couldn't understand it, and he looked around. He was like, there was a funny moment, and then we scored out of it too. So that was pretty impressive and pretty cool. It's always great, that you can communicate without people knowing. And I think we used it as our advantage for sure.
Yeah. All right. We want to move away a little bit just from the games. Hey, I want to let you know. So I called Coach. I called Livu Kalin. I called him
Oh,
yesterday.
you did?
I did. Yeah. He was
Nice. Okay.
I texted him. It was like 10 p.m. over there. I know he's in like his 70s almost, but he's like, anytime
Yeah,
for Dennis, man. Any questions you got
for
about
sure.
Dennis? So I called him just to get a little more background about your story, and he had a lot of great things to say. Um,
Mm,
but I think one thing he pointed out to me was it's really important if having as someone who coached you, obviously from a very young age, he told me it's very important if you want to get the best out of Dennis, you need to empower Dennis and you need to make him feel really involved and make him not the leader, not the go-to guy, but really, really involved in whatever project, whatever team. And I'm thinking about what you did with Germany this past summer and then what you did or what you're doing with the Raptors right now. Can you speak to that idea that your coach is talking about? How much, it changes a player's game when you really put the trust and keep them involved?
mhm. I mean, that's the reason why Malachi is playing great
Hmm.
right now in this role because I think coach doing a great job of just telling him, listen, like we want you to run the team. When you get in there, be aggressive. Just don't think about anything. And if you have that trust, from your starting PG or from Scotty or from Pascal Siakam and your coach, you're just going out there and play. And I think with the national team, I got like freedom to do whatever, but I'm still the like one of the hardest working guys out there. And I mean, coach is right because Coach Darko he gives me freedom and he tells me, yo, you got to be aggressive. I want you to be the Germany Dennis. But at the end of the day, we got so much talent in this room as well, or in the locker room, that I want to make sure we involve everybody and we playing team basketball. And we still figuring it out. I mean, it's 13 games in, I believe, and we game by game we're gonna be better. And I think we just got to keep getting better every single day, every single practice, every single game, and then we're gonna be really good and hard to stop.
Yeah. It's a great point about Malachi, man. Happy for Malachi yesterday. You got the chain as well, you
For
know?
sure. Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
think
He
Malachi got
changed
the
the
chain
game,
before you
man.
got the chain, by the way.
I ain't got no chain yet, but I
Yeah.
mean, I'm always happy for, people who's stepping up. I think Mel, he did a great job just coming in, hitting two threes,
Yeah.
then the floater, I believe. Um, I mean, he changed the game for us because we was down, when I got out. And then I think we got the lead when he got in. So really happy to see it. And I told him he got to, keep stacking those games and keep helping us. And if the bench is, always helping us getting the lead or keeping the lead, it's going to be really, really hard to stop us.
Yeah. We even saw more and more of what Malachi and playing alongside you in those two point guard lineups. We saw Darko
Yeah,
putting Malachi into the game for his defense as well. That's all
yeah,
great to see. And his swagger does look different, man. I got to tell you, like, we've
looks a
seen
little
Malachi's
different,
whole
man.
career. He's been
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of low
yeah,
on
yeah.
confidence, but this year it's different. Even the way he was posing with the chain. The other question I want to ask you from
For
this
real. Yeah.
conversation with Lee Vu is he said, you were very emotional towards teammates growing up. You always wanted to win. It always came from a place of competitiveness, but you were never afraid to confront guys and be the leader on the team and sort of put them in positions and challenge them to be better. So I want to ask you, A, are you still the same way? Is that still the same emotion? Or have you found a different way to channel that with your players now, obviously, being 30 and 10 years in the league now?
If you seen the national
Hmm.
against Slovenia, and I got into with Daniel Tice
Yeah.
and the coach, of course I'm gonna keep people accountable. But I wouldn't keep people accountable if I wouldn't, try to do my best every single night. And I mean, I'm gonna raise my voice if I think somebody is not, doing their best or they can do better. I'm gonna try to empower them to give them more, power, more energy to come out and say, okay, I got you guys, and I wish when I ever, do that or in that situation that people coming to me because I think it's always a two-way street. It's always, for us getting better, getting better as a team and seeing the bigger picture. And I think when Mel came one time to me in the game, he was like, yo, be aggressive, like, and I mean, I want everybody, the last man to the best person come and say, yo, listen, I need you to be better. I need you to do this, and it's better for us as a team. I think people keep people accountable as a whole group. Is great, and I didn't see that too much in the NBA. And if we do that, I think we can, reach a lot of things.
Yeah, I liked your point too, because you will talk to everybody on the team. Like I think last play of the first half yesterday, you guys gave up a corner three. I think Miles Turner got a corner three to end the first half, and I think you had a chat with Scotty just about that exact play at the very end there, in terms of the rotations and all that kind of stuff. So you will talk to everybody, and that's how you keep people accountable. You can't treat the 15th man different than the way you treat from the top guy or the second guy, So yeah.
And yeah, I believe in that, and I think Coach Darko. I had so many talks with him as well. He believes in it too, and I mean, I think that's the reason why Toronto got me as well. And they try to change the system a little bit. Got the right coach for it, and I'm a team player, and try to bring everybody together. And of course, with that summer, what we had as a team was amazing, and we just try to build, more here in Toronto.
All right. We got to get you out, but two more questions. Just on watching your vlog, if everyone hasn't seen already on YouTube, make sure you go watch Dennis's vlogs. Make sure you watch your wife's vlogs too. Joel's vlogs, man. Like nothing happens in your life without it happening on the vlog, apparently.
Joel is right now recording as well. Like y'all guys can't see him, but he's recording right there.
Yeah? What's up, guys? Hey, like, comment, and subscribe, all right? Okay. One thing. So from last week's vlog, maybe, Alphonso Davies showed up? In the Pistons game. Yeah, Alphonso Davies, the rest of Team Canada was there. What's your connection with Alphonso, man? Are you guys friends? Like, what's going on? How'd you guys meet?
We met like 5 years ago, I think, or 4 years ago. When he first got to Germany, he played in Wolfsburg. That's like 30 minutes from my hometown. We watched him play there because he had a hell of a hype. He came from the MLS, and we was just supporting and watched the game. And then from there on, we got connected. And every summer when I'm in Munich, I get to see him, getting, dinner, talk about life, and he's a great guy. I think he's one of the best guys, in soccer as a person, and of course on the court. And I mean, always great seeing him. And I mean, I always appreciate that he's, showing love.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you then, who's quicker between you two? 100-meter race, who's winning between you and Alphonso Davies?
That's a tough one.
You guys are both rapid.
Yeah, he's pretty fast. But I'm always counting on me.
Yeah.
You know that. Like I always but he's up there. It's gonna be like a real it's gonna be a race.
Yeah. We need to do that one on the vlog. All right, last one. I was just watching this before going on air, man. You said so apparently in the Orlando game, the bus got delayed to the arena because 4 Raptors got stuck in an elevator for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, not stuck though, but the elevator wasn't working.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
We tried to press it for like 10 minutes and the elevator was off. And we couldn't go down. It was like on the 16th floor, so we didn't try to take the stairs either. So we had to wait for like 10 minutes to get down. That's probably the reason we lost, because we wasn't ready.
Yeah. All right, Dennis. We'll see you back at the game tomorrow. Raptors play Chicago, and we'll talk to you again on the show next week. All right.
Perfect, man. Thank you, guys.